What can best explain the feeling and atmosphere associated with the first month of the new year? The excitement and expectations were so high at the end of the previous year, so much so that after the fireworks and the goodwill messages, going left, right, and center, ushering the new year, there was, a feeling of emptiness, So what I'm feeling is, so is this what all of the excitement, the noise, and everything is all about? And Happy New Year to you. Anyway, I don't get it, John. I really, really, really don't get it.
I do.
Okay.
And I get your drift, Helen. I guess it's the feeling of starting afresh, starting right, and not making the mistakes of the year just ended. It's capable of clouding our vision if not handled properly sometimes. And that is one of the reasons for today's package, to get us started properly.
Properly indeed, John. Now we plan to help our viewers and ourselves ease nicely and easily into the new year. Pressure and anxiety totally free. So calm down. Take time to count the gains of the year just ended. Be kind to yourself, even in those areas where you thought that you failed. Hello there and welcome to another edition of the program. And by the way, Happy New Year. And thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of the program. I'm Helen and I'm so excited to be here.
And the name hasn't changed.
No.
So a special edition indeed, the very first in the brand new year. I am John Senaya, and over the moon with excitement and joy that we are in excellent health, body and mind to start the journey into 2025. Welcome to Today with John and Helen, live on PlusTvAfrica. We're about to take our first break to return with the clear direction of today's package. Don't go anywhere.
All right, thanks for your company. And if you just join us, this is the program for you and your entire family to demonstrate the inclusiveness of this program and part of the vision that we have for this year. We shall be celebrating and learning from the Gen Zs today. Are they really interested in being part of the solution towards fixing our one and only country, Nigeria? Grace Nnachi, Chief Executive Officer, Crochedom, will be helping us with her perspective.
And I smiled when you said the Gen Zs.
Yeah, they're going to be
fully in their hands now.
This year.
And many like Helen are asking how, when, and where to start plugging in order to achieve desired success. We have in the house Joel Obeke, founder, CEO, P4PE Institute, to speak to the topic, Your 2025 Playbook, Building a Path to Success.
We're intentional, and we have a purpose, and we are sure that we'll meet at the end of the year, having made a lot of progress, so that we can make impact and help you to start this year smart. Before we get started properly, John, what was crossover from 12 midnight of 31st, 2024 to the 1st of January, 2025?
First, I'm not a crossover person.
No, crossover means different things to a lot of people.
Yeah,
what do you mean you're not a crossover
I'm not
person?
a crossover person. I don't use that terminology.
Okay, what terminology do you use?
For me, it's a New Year's Eve.
Okay, yeah. New Year's Eve. Okay, so what was New Year's Eve for you?
Yeah, I was in church, and I was in church midnight into the New Year. Great. And I tried to avoid all the crackers and fireworks on my way back home. And that really got a little, untidy. Okay. I think something has to be done about that. I always remember one of my friends whose son lost his finger, 2 fingers actually, trying to hold on to the fireworks while it was going off. So, I mean, it's deeply embedded in my head.
The funny thing is, as much precaution and warning that we have all over the place in social media, people still engage in that. In fact, up till last night, the ones around my area, my house, my street, I'm like, this is, for God's sake, the third day, going to the fourth of a new year.
Yeah.
What is all of these?
But these things are banned, aren't they? Are they still banned?
Yeah, well, we talk about things that are banned, and we talk about implementation.
Yeah.
We talk about the officers who are on ground to ensure, compliance. That is another area to look at. Yeah, and for me, Lagos is still pretty much empty. Not too many people have resumed. I don't know if you're...
I drove past the Tejo market yesterday.
Pretty much.
And it was full.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. But there's something I quickly want to complain about. One of the banks, one of the pay this, pay that, pay whatever, has for 2 weeks been holding on to my money. I transferred money to someone. It left my account. It didn't get to his account. I went to my bank. I complained. They investigated and said this transaction was successful. So now my money is hanging between one bank and the other, and nothing is being done. It looks like I've lost that money.
You know why I'm smiling? This happened to me like early November. And it took 3 weeks to be resolved.
To get it.
3 weeks. And as I'm talking to you, I made some payment on Friday or Thursday, and it's still hanging.
So something needs to be done about that.
Still hanging.
A lot of people are losing money.
I think that's what a lot of people are experiencing.
Yes.
And sometimes if you just get too tired and you're not following through, and then that money, only God knows where it goes.
Anyway,
it just ends somewhere.
Back to
something for the banks really to look into. We don't have a lot of money, and so we cannot afford to be losing the small that we're managing with. Abby?
Yes.
All right.
So, welcome to 2025 officially. And I believe that the wise decision to take will be to continue with unfinished projects and prospects of last year. After all, it's just the calendar that has changed.
True.
A la John Senaya. That's like a crossover.
All right, John, that's very, very correct. Now, remember that the power to move our lives and destinies are entirely in our hands as individuals. And so, having said that, it's time to meet our first guest. John, kindly do us that honor.
With all pleasure.
Because you're part of the JZs.
Yes. So the big question begging for answers: who is going to fix Naija? The Gen Zs. First, the Gen Zs, or is it Generation Z? People born between 1997 and 2012. I hope I'm correct. They are the generation after millennials and before Generation Alpha. They are the first to grow up with the internet and often referred to as digital natives or Zoomers. So our first guest fits perfectly into this category. Fiercely independent, focused, and result-oriented. Our guest is a law undergraduate and a business owner with a passion for research, writing, and public speaking. In 2020, she launched Grace's Crochedom, a business line making crochet outfits, and she has evidence to prove that. Suited for the Nigerian weather. She currently serves as project chair of the RAC Club of Lagos, where she's actively involved in humanitarian causes and impacting her immediate community. Are the Gen Zs in any way to be relied upon as we continue on the journey to rebuild Nigeria? Let's hear from Grace Nnachi. Happy New Year and welcome to our studios, Grace.
Hello, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for
I should have said CEO Grace.
Yes. All right.
Well, in my opinion, Grace, the youths are no longer the future, but they are our now.
I believe that too. We are the leaders of now.
Yes, so not
the future is here already.
The future is here, so I'm excited to be here with you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for coming.
Thaning for having me.
So I'm really itching, eager to fire the first questions.
Okay.
I mean, I met Grace before this program, and I sense that she will have some fireworks for us.
Okay, so yeah.
So, but Grace, could you tell us what are the biggest challenges faced by young Nigerians today, and how do you think they can be overcome?
Okay.
Just briefly, because that's a wide angle.
It's really wide because
Yes.
a lot of the things we face is a Nigerian thing. So there are some challenges that cut across every generation. But some of the things that are peculiar to us can probably be in the area of education, accessing quality education. Then there's also the area of having opportunities to express ourselves. We find out that sometimes when we want to do some things, like we say, oh, this thing is done abroad somewhere else, but there are not enough of opportunities for us to express ourselves in that manner here in Nigeria. So off the top of my head, those are the thoughts.
So when you say peculiar to Nigeria, I'm curious. What do you mean?
Okay, so challenges that are like peculiar to Nigeria. For example, everybody is hit by the economy. So everybody is facing the economy. And then when we have some other things like insecurity, political instability, it's everybody that's facing it. But there are some that it's Gen Z it touches the most.
Okay. So what are some misconceptions that we generally have about the Gen Zs in Nigeria? And how do you think your generation can challenge these stereotypes? What must we see? What must you do for us to change our opinion?
Okay, so one of the biggest misconceptions about Gen Z is that all of us were just bad, lazy children. All of us.
Bad, lazy.
Bad and lazy children. Like, oh, Gen Z, they're so rude, they're so lazy. And yes, it could be true. Like, in every generation, there will be people that are rude. But mind you, the young population in Nigeria is about 100 and something million. Are you telling me that you've met all the 170 million people, but you concluded that everybody is rude, everybody is difficult to work with and all? And also, we are a generation, we're very inquisitive. If you tell us to do something, we'll ask why.
Why?
And when we do that, it's not every time we're doing that as an affront to authority. Sometimes we just really want to know why. So I get that miscommunication seeps in, and it seems as though we're being rude. So to overcome this misconception, I know there are a lot of bright-minded Gen Zs, and I know rather that they need to speak up. They need to speak up, like, let's use social media to advertise the good things that Gen Zs are doing, so that not everybody, we don't keep on running with this gross misconception that we're all lazy children in this generation.
And true, John, before you throw in your next question, that thing she said about, inquisitiveness and the boldness to ask why, the millennials and the alphas didn't have that opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you speak to your mom or your uncle or even a teacher in school who says do this, and you're like, please, why?
Yeah,
Even if you add that, please, you're in trouble.
Well, I feel something that just contributes to that is why in a very rapidly changing society, we grew up with the internet, things are changing on a daily basis. So if you are bringing something, we want to challenge that because we would have seen in other jurisdictions elsewhere where it's done different and it's done better.
Done differently and better. Oh my goodness.
My problem is that Gen Zs are a little too impatient. They are like ready to do. They want quick, ready to mix or ready to drink.
I'd rather that they are very confident that whatever the distance is,
They are not patient.
they can get there.
I don't think they are impatient.
No, I don't think they are impatient. At
Okay,
all.
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Anyhow, CEO Grace, as a young entrepreneur and student, what do you believe is the role of Gen Zs in shaping Nigeria's future?
Okay, so a lot of the Gen Z population, we're very entrepreneurial. We like getting our hands, starting our own businesses or side hustles. So I feel from the entrepreneurial aspect, we can actually contribute to the Nigerian economy by building our SME markets. SMEs are important for building our GDP and all of that economics lingo. But yes, we can contribute to that by, with our startups. We are creating, increasing our GDP, creating jobs, not waiting for the employment to come. So that's that. Then from the student's perspective, that in academia, young people are very inquisitive, right? And some of the ideas that we come up with, they are very important for policy reforms. I've heard of people my age that are involved in drafting policies for tax, drafting policies for maritime at the international space. So we bring these new fresh ideas to the ways that we've been thinking about things. So that could help in like societal and political reforms in the long run.
Awesome. Now, what specific skills or qualities do you think the Nigerian Gen Zs need to develop to drive meaningfully, the change that you're talking about?
All right, so we're in a digital age, so first, digital skills. You need to know how to use AI, and it's not just Gen Z. Everyone needs digital skills in this day and age. In addition to that, if you really want to make impact and effect a lot of change, you need interpersonal skills because you are dealing with people. Communication, resource management, and all that. You need to learn how to interact and how to be tolerant with people. Another skill that I think is necessary is research. Because we're young, we have the drive, but we might not have a lot of knowledge on a lot of things. And I believe that it's okay for you not to have a lot of knowledge on something, as long as you know where to get that knowledge from, how to get the knowledge, and how to assimilate it quickly. And in addition to that, things like leadership skills, resilience, economic management, those are some of the important skills I think.
She has this look quite well thought out.
Because she's a CEO.
But I want you to watch out for, or listen out for something. The terminologies that she uses. Side hustle.
Yes, now.
This.
That's Gen Z, of course.
That's Gen Z lingo.
Yeah.
So if you don't understand any of those, you can just ask me.
Yeah. Those days they used to say to us that you should focus just on one enterprise. For now, what you're saying is it doesn't work anymore. You need to have multiple streams of business, plus the side hustle.
and different skills.
Yes.
And another thing that has come through, in the few minutes we've been with you, is your public speaking skills. Being able to communicate clearly, harness your points properly, and all of that. And I think a lot of Gen Zs should take time out to learn those skills. Talking about which, there's something else that you do that has to do with public speaking skills. Would you want to quickly tell us about that?
It's been for a couple of years. I really like debating. I like public speaking and writing. So currently, because I'm a law undergraduate and I'm a law student, so we talk a lot. But in addition to that, in a society, it's called the Muti Society, we focus on building research, mooting, and mock skills. So just public speaking in general. And I give myself to societies like this because I know that skills that I'm learning from these societies are things that will cut across through my life. It's not something that I'm just
for.
Yes, so it's developing myself, it's sharpening myself with like-minded individuals. So I do a lot of competitions, a lot of writing, and that's what I do on the side. That's my side hustle.
That's another side.
Another side hustle. Plenty side hustles. Okay, while we get ready to take the first break, in the course of this conversation, what do you think that government and the older generations should do right now to support and empower the Nigerian youth?
Right now, I'll just say two. Because of time, I have a laundry list.
Okay.
No, feel free, please.
Can give us five.
This is an opportunity for you to open your mind,
to spill it out.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so one of the things that I'll say is education. We need to make our educational sector up to date or up to par with international realities. There needs to be some reviews done to our syllabuses. There needs to be some courses that we have to adopt into our educational system if we want to make the type of global impact as the giant of Africa as we are in Nigeria. In addition to that, there's also giving us a place in politics, actually encouraging youth participation in politics at all levels of governance, because let's face it, we are the largest we form the largest chunk of the population right now. And if the largest chunk of the population is not represented, it's not involved, who are you making the laws for? Who, if you are not speaking to us, if you are not getting our feedback, how would we know if the policies you are implementing are suitable or if they are even working? So things like that. Also, there is financial empowerment, and that can come from the form of like empowering startups. A lot of people are involved in startups. Then there's also the part of there's a place for mentorship. Because while the young people, we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of energy. We have energy, but experience not as much. It will really help if the older generations could show some guidance, some light at some point. And I think overall to credit just the communication, more forums like we're having today for us to just discuss and interact. Let us know, okay, this is why I think this way, this is why I think this way, and let's come to a conclusion.
I'm so thrilled. And before you leave here, I'd like to find out what your growing up was like that really prepared you to be who you are today. So please remember that in case I forget.
Okay.
Brilliant response to that question and so well articulated, I will say. We shall pause for a breather right now and return to continue the conversation with our guests. Do stay with us. Please don't go away.
You're still watching Today with John and Helen live, a family-focused lifestyle, health, success, business, and national orientation program. Our guest, Grace Nnachi, CEO, is still with us, and we shall pick up from where we stopped before the break. Okay. And if I remember clearly, Helen was asking you, how did you prepare yourself? What was your growing up like? How did you prepare yourself to find yourself
together? What did mommy do? What did daddy do? What did the society do?
Okay, how did I get here? Well, I'm still in that process of getting, but when I was much younger, as though I'm not still young, when I was much younger, I know my parents, they actually gave me a lot of opportunity to express myself. They kept on encouraging me to speak up. I know I was inquisitive like that. I liked learning, and shout out to my parents for paying my school fees, but the schools that they placed me in really helped because my education growing up was Montessori. So I was exposed to fiction, non-fiction, English and word problems at different levels. And from when I was in primary school, I loved debating.
More practical learning than theory.
Yes, more practical, hands-on. And I was, they encouraged me to express myself. My entire family, actually, they encouraged me to express myself. So if I say I want to dance, they are there to back me up. If I want to sing, they are there to back me up. If I want to do a spoken word recitation, they are there to video me. And these are like real life instances. Wow. So just that type of exposure. Then growing up, I maintained like just debate, writing, public speaking. It has followed me up to now. And another thing that's really, really shaped me where I am right now is volunteering, right? So my bio, I also serve as the project chair of the RAC Club of Lagos. And impact is something I'm very passionate about, like impacting my immediate community. So it's giving me some sense of purpose in the things that I do, just reaching out to people, connecting to people on that deep, intimate level. Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't mentioned or said anything about your involvement with the spelling bee.
Yes, I'm still getting that. So, like I said, I do a lot of volunteering. So I also volunteered in the past couple of months. I've been volunteering with Spell It Nigeria. Yes, so it's a spelling bee competition. So a lot of volunteering, setting up, interacting with your. In fact, it was during my time. It was during my time volunteering with them that I realized I'm not so young anymore. There's Gen Alpha.
Coming right after you.
Right after. I'm getting old.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm so used to being the youngest person in the room, and I'm like, Auntie, you're not that old again.
I'm not that young again.
I'm not that young again.
Yeah. Impressive. For your benefits, okay, I won't say how old you are because you told me I should not agree.
No, let's keep it to
ourselves. You know, I'm blown away that at such a young age, you know, I mean, John.
This
I'm
is
speechless.
really impressive.
I'm okay.
You know, so let's look at collaborations, you know, Gen Zs and collaborations with other generations.
Yeah.
Because I see that there's a bit of whatever between Gen Zs especially and baby boomers, you know. So how do you want to, you know, I mean, how do you want to fine-tune the collaboration between the different generations? Because there really has to be, you know, that, you know, continuity and passing over stuff.
Yes. Okay, so before I answer that question, I'll first of all agree with the point, because I feel, or I think that the problem of Nigeria, for it to be solved, it takes effort cutting across generations. So there needs to be a deep bench of people across different generations working together to fix this, the problems, or to provide solutions. So for us to work together, I mean, let me just start from the Gen Z aspect. It's something that I'm still learning. I'm young and I don't know everything. And I could actually benefit from the wealth of knowledge that the generations before me had. So it's kind of humbling myself. I'm in the process of that, because as I'm saying this, I'm advising myself.
So humble yourself.
Yes, I should. Yes, actually humble myself and be willing to learn from the generations ahead of me. And then so that's what Gen Z can do. Then from the older generations, give us a chance. Like, please. Give us a chance. Listen to us. We're not rude.
You're not rude. You're just being yourself.
Yes, we work on that, but actually,
you know, I'm seeing Grace, you know, in a debate right now. Yes, my point is, you know, all right. So, given the chance, Grace, what would you prioritize as those three key things that we all need, you know, to fix Nigeria? And how would you rally others to join you? Practical now.
Practical. Okay, so my first answer will come from the area of our economy, because economic issues it just ties across a lot of problems. For example, when we talk of Japan, a lot of people are jackpotting because of the economic situations, and also to improve the economy, entrepreneurship, the idea of small businesses and how they can actually have a lasting impact on the economy. So I would encourage more people to start businesses, start a side hustle. Even if you have a 9-to-5, make out time for entrepreneurial endeavors. Another thing that I really focus on is knowledge, right? You can have good intent, but if you do not know how to execute the ideas that you have, it's not going to materialize. So the knowledge gap, actually not just to Gen Zs, but encouraging people to learn. Learning does not stop.
Get informed.
Get informed, thank you so much. It doesn't start and stop when you go to school, like constant lifelong learning. Encouraging people to engage in things like that, that's another thing. And then, like, just applying yourself to the places where you find yourself. For example, not everybody is in governance right now, but you are governing the little space that you have. So in that little space that you find yourself, how do you apply yourself? What are the principles that are used to govern your space? So when you see it like that, then I think it really starts to put things into perspective.
From the micro.
From the micro to the macro.
Wow.
I see a Gen Z president sitting in front of
I know.
It is so exciting, really. I mean, the way you've expressed all of this, the way you put it all together, it makes it so exciting, refreshing. You know, so now let's look at technology. Because all of this, you know, we need the structure, of proper structure of technology to so how can technology, and by extension social media, you know, be leveraged by Gen Zs to create a more inclusive and progressive Nigeria?
A more inclusive and progressive Nigeria. So first of all, with social media, right? Because we have instances where like a lot of propaganda, fake news is spreading on social media. But I see social media as a tool. Social media is neither good nor bad. It depends on what you use it for. So if we can intentionally use social media to push out the right stories, the right perspective, to push out uplifting content, I feel it's something that can actually work on inclusivity, right? If everybody is more mindful of what they say on like this. So like we've used social media for bad for so long. Let's change that. Let's take hold.
But that's not peculiar to us.
It's a general thing. Yes. And then like, so peculiar to Gen Z, we're very tech savvy. We know the trends and all. So if I was like a business owner in an older generation, I would definitely love to partner with the Gen Z population if I'm looking to expand my business. I'm just using the business example to drive this thing home. So we know the trends. We know how to use it, and social media has wonderful opportunities when it comes to growing your businesses, communicating to people out there. So just marrying social media with whatever you're doing. Okay, you're a lawyer, right? You're a lawyer, and your social media space, use it to show that you are a lawyer. So just marrying whatever you are doing with social media. Yes, it will be a catalyst for improvement and all of that.
Somebody who needs you, Helen.
Yeah, I thought I put it on me. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. All right. So I have two questions, in one for you. One is some people think that why we are where we are is because government for a long time have used the tool of divide and rule in either ethnicity or politics, all of that. I am looking at how the Gen Zs perceive this and what they can do to unite Nigeria. Like we all go to the market now, and the price of thing or the economic situation does not ask whether you are, from the remotest part of the north or the east or the west or the south. Everything is open for everyone. Everyone is feeling the pinch. And it's critical that we understand that in our dealings with one another. Do the Gen Zs perceive this as a challenge? And what do you think, especially using the social media and your collaboration to help, forge this unity?
Forging unity. So, personally, I feel growing up, I've been kept in some type of bubble. I don't know if it's the same with a lot of Gen Z, but it's as we're growing up, we get to see more of these things, more of the discrepancies, the disunity, and all. We're growing up, we're entering into the job markets, we're actually detaching from our parents a little bit. So we're on our own and we're seeing this. So currently, I might say that it doesn't really affect. It might affect us indirectly, but it's not something that we actually
that's major.
Yes, actually major. But here and there, we'll find it poking its head. So one thing I know about this generation, I feel if we can hang on to our inquisitiveness, because we find out that some of the narratives that are pushing this disunity were like misconceptions that were handed down through the generations. We do not really know what happened, but like this happens, everybody says this, so this is it, and it has become a norm in society. And I feel something that can challenge that is something that we already have, is our inquisitiveness. So if this is the norm, we're going to ask why. Why is it like this? So I feel like if we keep on like questioning some of these things, we'll actually find out that sometimes some of these misconceptions that are promoting disunity are actually baseless.
Okay.
So
great. Interesting. And that's really an advice to because when they ask why, the older generations should be ready to provide the answers, because what they don't have now a lot of the time is history-based facts. So if we're able to do that, then the collaboration.
And in asking why, I believe that they would also have an alternative view
Yeah.
to it, that...
But Can I just throw this in before we wrap up?
Final
Okay.
message.
Yes, yeah. Where do you think we will find Grace Nnachi in another 3 years
In another 3 years,
or 5 years?
international.
International.
International space.
I so will it be.
Amen. Okay. Wow. So think it. As you think it, so it shall be.
Great.
Wow. This. Wow. Okay. Thank you. I'm very far away. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Starting so strong and encouraged, I will say. I am thoroughly blown away. Well done, Grace. And we look forward to hearing and seeing more of you on the international scene, like you said.
Thank you so much.
Well, I really don't have much to add. You know, I just want to thank you so much for coming, Grace. From now, we form part of your cheerleaders.
Yes, we
And
are.
we are so proud of you,
We are.
Grace Nnachi, there, navigating through the topic. Who is going to fix Naija? The Gen Zs?
And they say Naija, it's not Nigeria. That was your topic.
Naija.
Naija. All right, so we just commenced the journey into the new year and setting the agenda that will ensure a prosperous year for everyone. When we return from the break, your 2025 playbook, Building a Path to Success, will be our focus with Joel Omeke. And he's the HR godfather. That's what he's known by. Join us again.